Hey sis, I'm so glad you're here. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you rested without guilt? Not because you collapsed from exhaustion, but because you chose to honor your body, your boundaries, and your God. See, in our culture, hustle is glorified and exhaustion is it's kind of worn like a badge of honor. If you're not grinding 24/7, you're somehow falling behind. And if you're not multitasking or overachieving or constantly performing, are you even trying? Let me disrupt that lie today, okay? See, rest is not laziness. Rest is holiness. Even Jesus, God in flesh, took time to withdraw, to reset, and to rest. Hebrews 4:9 tells us there remains then a Sabbath rest for people of God. Not optional, not a reward for getting everything done. It's a promise, a command, a rhythm. And today we're going to choose to return to it. Let me tell you something. There was a time in my life, especially in my early leadership years, when I believed rest was for later. I had just stepped into a new leadership position, and I was so grateful and so determined not to mess it up. I worked longer hours than I needed to. I skipped lunch breaks. I missed volleyball games. I told myself it's just a season, even though that season turned into a lifestyle. And then one afternoon, I lay down for a 20-minute nap. Just 20 minutes. But I woke up and I felt ashamed, guilty. And the thoughts hit me fast. You're slacking. You're supposed to be an example. You can't afford to slow down. You have to clean the house. You have to review that report. You have to, and you fill in the blanks, right? Sound familiar? I didn't realize then, but I had turned busyness into identity. My output was my worth. My calendar was my confidence. And rest? Rest felt kind of like a weakness. But that lie nearly cost me my peace, my presence, my purpose. Let's go deeper into this truth from Hebrews 4. There remains then a Sabbath rest for the people of God. This is more than a command. It's an invitation. You see, rest is resistance. Rest is how we declare, I am not God, and I don't need to be. Because when you step away from the grind, you're resisting the system that says produce or you're not valuable. Perform or you'll be forgotten. No, sis. See, when you rest, you say, I trust God more than my schedule. Rest also requires faith. True rest is a faith move. See, it takes faith to trust that everything won't fall apart if you're not controlling it. It takes trust to believe that your worth isn't tied to your output. See, Psalm 127:2 says, He grants sleep to those He loves. Not hustle, not burnout, not breakdown. Sleep, peace, stillness. If God gives rest, why do we treat it like it's shameful? See, rest is also preparation. Jesus didn't wait until he was overwhelmed to rest. He rested before the cross, before ministry assignments, before miracles. Rest wasn't recovery, it was revelation. You see, it was him getting quiet enough to hear the Father clearly. And some of you aren't lacking direction. You're just simply lacking rest. Because it's hard to hear God when you're always rushing. When you slow down, you tune in. And when you withdraw, you align. When you rest, you receive. You see, rest is identity at work. Now, this one is deep. See, when I avoid rest, it's often because I don't feel like I've earned it. But what is that rooted in? It's rooted in works-based worth. Rest says, I'm a daughter first, not a worker, not a performer, not a machine. Sis, if you are constantly exhausted, constantly pouring, constantly proving, you're living like an orphan, not a daughter. But daughters rest. Daughters trust. Daughters receive. Here's your challenge this week. I want you to pick one day. Yes, just one. And block off 60 minutes of sacred rest. No phone, no emails, no agenda. Take a nap. Go for a walk. Soak in the word. Sit with worship. Whatever restores your soul, do it unapologetically. And when guilt shows up, speak this truth over yourself. Rest is holy, and I will not apologize for resting. I want you to drop that in the comments if you're claiming that today. And tag a woman who's been running on empty. Let her know she doesn't have to prove anything to be valuable, because she already is. I want you to remember, you don't have to earn your worth. And you don't have to grind for your identity. And you don't have to wait until burnout to pause. God has given you the gift of rest. Not after the work is done, but in the middle of it. Because he knows what your soul needs. And you're not lazy, and you're not behind. You are walking in obedience when you slow down to breathe. Rest is resistance. Rest is faith. Rest is identity. Rest is holy. And you are rooted, and you are rising, and yes, you are resting. And sis, I'm so glad you're here.